Hi, welcome back to Good News and Light Master of the Month. So this month, the message is simply be the miracle. So, good news. In June, German lawmakers approved same-sex marriage in a landmark vote. That's awesome. Thanks, Germany. Oregon, here in the U.S., became the first state in the U.S. to add a third gender to driver's licenses. And Oregon has guaranteed equal pay for men and women. Well done, Oregon. In July, India elected a Dalit as president. This is only the second time a Dalit has been president, which is a rare achievement for a member of the community once known as untouchables and one of the most deprived groups in India. Well done. We need to take care of each other. Almost half of NASA's new class of astronauts are women. These 5 women and 7 men were chosen out of more than 18,300 applicants. Well done, NASA. Thanks for looking to the women. It's qualifications. It's not gender. It's qualifications. And now I love how the playing field is starting to level out. Well done. Okay, in the animal world, organic beef farmer Jay, who happens to be a vegetarian, is sending his cows to a sanctuary and starting a vegan farm instead of cashing in on his herds. He inherited the farm from his father in 2011, but couldn't live with the conflict of interest any longer, so he sent his cows to a sanctuary instead of sending them to the slaughterhouse. That was very cool. Well done, Farmer Jay. Okay, also in animals, an elephant was rescued from the ocean 10 miles off the Sri Lankan coast. The Sri Lankan Navy and wildlife officials tied ropes to the elephant and gently towed it back to shore. So elephants are actually really good swimmers, and this one had just gotten out beyond where it could manage, and its trunk was just sticking above water, and so the Navy and the wildlife people came and helped it tow it back to shore. So that's awesome. Well done, taking care of one another. Okay, in the environment, so to start us off, Game of Thrones star Kit Harington, aka Jon Snow, joined the climate talk. So the cast went to Iceland to find snow because, if you're following Game of Thrones, winter is here. So Jon Snow, Kit Harington, said that they were lucky to find the snow that they did. He also said the glacier they had filmed on 4 years ago had shrunk. Through his own eyes, he said he saw climate change, and it was terrifying. Also in the environment, a tree that eats metal was discovered in the Philippines. Most plants exclude metal from the roots, but the plant Ranoria nicolifera can accumulate 100 to 1,000 times the amount of metal normal plants can take in. This could make the tree a great solution to cleaning up toxic sites around the planet. That's really interesting. It's really interesting. This is something I want to keep following. Also in the other news, environmental news, China has broken ground on the construction of a forest city that aims to be sustainable and pollution-free. Busan Forest City is planned to house 30,000 people, be covered by 1 million plants and 40,000 trees. They claim it will be able to absorb roughly 11,020 tons, TONS, of carbon dioxide and masses of polluting aerosols per year. So this is actually really interesting. This is actually something from what I would say is the future. This is kind of the world I see in my mind's eye. It's very cool. All right, France is doing very well. France announced it will ban the sale of all petrol and diesel cars by 2040. They join a host of other ambitious countries in reducing these emissions. So the Netherlands and Norway have already planned to ban petrol and diesel cars by 2025, and Germany and India plan to ban these cars by 2030. So all of this from France comes on the back of a decision by Volvo to ensure all of its cars are partially electric by 2019. That's not even 2 years from now. So that's amazing. France also plans to become carbon neutral by 2050 and to stop using coal to produce electricity by 2022. So all of these years, all of these numbers that used to seem way off in the future, they're actually here. 2022, it's not that far away. In the US, governors and mayors have created America's Pledge, which is an initiative to compile and qualify actions of pro-Paris Agreement states and cities and businesses to make sure their efforts stay on track with the Paris Accord. Another report said the U.S. might meet its Paris goals no matter what the U.S. president says or does. The economic benefit of renewable energy is becoming too large to ignore. Very good. Keep moving forward. In July, Tennessee restricted the use of Monsanto pesticide dicamba. Arkansas has completely banned the use of this chemical, so these are U.S. States. And Missouri is also restricting the use of this chemical. Kansas is investigating complaints of the pesticide, which is sprayed on crops genetically modified to resist the pesticide, but the chemical has drifted and damages other crops. So it's good that people are starting to notice. Well done. In other news, a UN report called Wake Up Before It's Too Late, that's the name of the report, says small-scale organic farming is the answer to feeding the world. They actually say it's the only way to feed the world. Canada's new draft of the food pyramid favors plant-based protein and eliminates dairy as a food group. So one of the things that a lot of environmental articles and activists are saying is that a plant-based diet is one of the best things you can do to help the planet. Meat takes a lot of energy, puts out a lot of things into the atmosphere. Something to consider. Studies seem to agree that Africa will leapfrog over coal and choose renewable energy to bring electricity to the approximately 7 million people in their country that do not have access to electricity at the moment. That's awesome. Africa, wouldn't that be awesome? Africa goes right to renewables. That is being the miracle. Okay, so on to Light Master of the Month, but before we get there, a correction from last report. So in the translation team honoring, I had one of our volunteers misrepresented. So translation team member Prani is actually from Thailand and not Taiwan. Sorry about that, Prani. Okay, Light Master of the Month. The honorary Light Master of the Month goes to Mohamed Bzeek. For more than 2 decades, Mohamed Bzeek has quietly cared for children who are frequently neglected. These are terminally ill foster care children. Since 1995, Mr. Bzeek has buried 10 severely disabled foster children in addition to his wife, who died 2 years ago. When asked why he cares for these children, he says the answer is simple. Even if the children cannot communicate or see or hear, they have a soul. They need someone to love them. He said many of them come to him without even a name, so he gives them a name and he cares for them deeply. This is all he spends his time doing, and some of them can't even communicate in any way, so he uses touch. And he wants his biggest thing is he doesn't want them to be alone. He wants them to know that they are loved and cared for and that they will not be forgotten. And even if one person does that, it's amazing and beautiful. And as our transition team members know, the energy that you depart your body from this planet with is actually, it has an effect on your being as you move into other worlds. Also, when you come back into the planet, that energy that you transition out from your last life is the energy that you come back into. So Mr. Bzeek is setting up so much beauty with allowing people to transition with love and caring. So he is absolutely being the miracle. Thank you, Mr. Bzeek. Thank you, all of you in the world that are doing good things. I see it out there. I'm sure you guys see it out there. Keep being the miracle. Thank you.